Here's how I can still win. So for the uninitiated, this is about Hashihime of the Old Book Town. It's a 5-route PLVN set in 1992 Japan, about a schizophrenic 20-year-old wannabe writer called Tamori. His childhood friend mysteriously dies and Tamori ends up time traveling, looking for the same 3 days, trying to save him. Those two are not important to this, I don't care about that. This is Kawase. He's a student at the Imperial University studying medicine. He lives with an old man he met on the train who adopted him on the spot. He's sarcastic and tsundere, but he's also possessive. Hanazawa, meanwhile, is a soldier who grew up in the same town as Kawase. He's dissociated strongly and denies himself an existence outside his role as a soldier. He doesn't believe he has any imagination and can only deal in the literal. He saw someone put milk in coffee and it scared him. So, when they were kids, Hanazawa was the 8th child and only son of a doctor, and 3 years older than Tamori, Minakami, and Kawase. When Kawase was hospitalized, Hanazawa sat and brushed his hair and took care of him, and Kawase became enamored with him and would give him presents and try to impress him all the time. Hanazawa hung out with them despite the age difference. However, Kawase's father likely killed Hanazawa's father after getting drunk. Hanazawa was slightly blamed Kawase, and Kawase felt bad and kept working to make amends. It ends up being the push for Kawase to finally kill his abusive father. And for reasons that aren't obvious if you know Hanazawa, he wasn't cut out for taking over the family practice and instead became a soldier. Kawase then went to the Imperial University to become a military doctor, wanting to chase after him. In Minakami's route, we're introduced to Hanazawa after Tamori walks in on him visiting Kawase. Hanazawa and Kawase were meeting in secret, Kawase not wanting anyone to know Hanazawa was there so he could keep him to himself. He gets extremely pissed off when it suggests that Hanazawa was meeting with Minakami in secret as well, and kidnaps him with full intent to torture him for meeting with him. We learn that during the war, Kawase becomes a doctor by Hanazawa's side, and in his desperation to impress him, he lobotomizes soldiers to send them to the front lines. He then betrays Minakami and Tamori for Hanazawa. So in Kawase's route, when Hanazawa fails to save Kawase and Tamori then presses him on it, Hanazawa tells him that he hates Kawase and never forgave him for his father's actions. To simplify this, we'll say Kawase in a new timeline overheard this and immediately starts to spiral. He becomes suicidal, pressures Tamori into sex with him as a way to self-harm, and completely falls apart. He denies he ever had feelings for Hanazawa, but Hanazawa's rejection is literally the catalyst for him losing himself. In one of the routes, Kawase gets drunk and confesses his feelings. He realised that Hanazawa intends to sacrifice himself for Japan and begs him to let him take his place. We also learn Kawase is extremely jealous of Hanazawa's friendship with Hakase, and he continually does stupid shit trying to get Hanazawa's attention back. And for some reason, Hanazawa's route, Tamori tells him that Kawase sees him as an older brother, despite the fact he has accused Kawase of having a crush on Hanazawa. What could he mean by this? But Marine, Hanazawa hates Kawase. Who give a shit? Hanazawa is a shell of a man who never allows himself emotion. He's associated all the time and dedicates his entire life to being a soldier rather than having to think for himself. And yet, he hates Kawase. He doesn't let go of his feelings for Kawase. He'll hold them against him. Kawase is what grounds him to the world and stops him from completely falling apart. Also, Hanazawa, who is so by the book, but leaks top secret information to Kawase, who is basically a random student with no clearance. He doesn't tell Tamori shit unless it's related to him or he believes Tamori already knows, but Kawase gets to hear that fucking time travel is real and they're going to capture the means to do it to help them in the war. But more importantly, I think they're literally cute, and Kawase should get him because he wants him, and they remind me of Suzushi from Ultra C. I think when you start stealing things to give to the boy you like, you win. I think Kawase should be dragging him back every time he tries to make the military his life, and should look after him, actually. So for the fandom, I feel most of the fandom are, of course, fans of the canon ships involving Tamamori. Kawase is a super popular character, so Kawatama is super popular. Hanazawa is super unpopular for extremely understandable reasons, such as being a World War II soldier, a Japanese nationalist, and the non-con route of the game. It's very rare I see any HanaKawa content. The only artist I saw send me consistently stopped posting a few months ago. We have 4 fics in English. So if you want to check it out, Hashihime of the Old Book Town is available on PC and Switch. The Switch version is censored, but I don't know the specifics besides it's rated 12+, but Kawase sexually assaults a child in his route, so I don't know if that's still there. The Switch version is also £45.89 or £22.94 on sale, while the uncensored PC version is £27.79 or £15.28 on sale. My gamer Pro, a copy in the giveaways, please. Thank you, and also I'll catch you if you let me know how all the progress is going.